Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put her at a bad, knock a middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press get you out of. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put her at a bad, knock a middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press get you out of. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put her at a bad, knock a middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press get you out.
Hey y'all, and welcome. And no male slander. The song worked because the male folk during this episode, in my opinion, we're not doing what needed to be done. But I digress, y'all. You already know what it is. My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective. And we are back tonight to talk House of the Dragon, Season 2. What is this, episode 2 or episode 3, y'all? Oh my goodness, we're getting there. The Burning Mill, and I'm not alone. I have a lovely panel of guests. I'm going to bring them up, and we're going to get the thoughts of everyone. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming to the stage first, we have Ms. D-Ray, half of the Horror in Hooch podcast. How are you doing tonight, Ms. D-Ray?
I am wonderful. Glad to be here. I'm excited.
I'm glad to have you. Next, we have Dom with Screen Static. Hey, Dom, how's it going?
What's going on? Can't wait to get into this one.
Oh, Lord. Oh. Kay, the other half of the Horror in Hooch podcast. How you feeling today, Kay? How you feeling? You're muted.
Always on mute. Yeah, we gotta talk, Allison. We gotta talk about it.
And will absolutely. And finally, we have the official Allison and Team Green apologist to the nation, right? The defense attorney to all of them. Steve the Superior with the green background, with the green top, with the crown. How you doing today?
Yes. I'm happy to be here to represent my client because there's been a plethora of allegations against, the Allisons, Queen Allison. So I'm here to make sure none of those allegations see the light of day anymore. So
okay. She said she's gonna brush them under the rug.
No, we're gonna address the allegations.
Okay.
And bring to light who the real culprit is, Miss Rhaenyra over there. We're gonna talk about it.
Just catching strays for no reason. Okay, you guys, let's see who's here. Let's say hello to everyone, and then we're going to get right into this. Hey, Tremaine, welcome. We are so glad to have you here tonight. Hey, Vic, welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, Joanne. Hey, friend. Vic says, "Say it ain't so." Listen, Vic, you were here last week. You know. That's all I can say is, friend. So this week's episode was entitled The Burning Mill. And you know how we start out every week, right? I need to know your overall thoughts of the episode. And Ms. D-Ray, I'm going to begin with you. What did you think about this episode overall?
It has been the slowest episode for me thus far. The most mediocre, for lack of a better word. It was like it wasn't enough. It was a whole lot of dead space. Like, what do we need that for? So it was good for the meat of what we did get, but it was a lot of dead space that was pointless to me.
Okay, Miss T. Ray, and I kind of echo the sentiment. We talked about it briefly, but I'll go last. Dom, you are next. You were next in the building. Overall thoughts on the Burning Mill episode? What'd you think?
I actually liked this episode. This episode actually, I felt like was starting to get to what I've been waiting for. The momentum of, because it wasn't like a violent episode. We didn't have a lot of battles. We haven't like started the war yet, but I felt like we've made like significant steps toward it. And this episode at least had more than just people in rooms talking. We was actually doing some stuff this episode. So that's why I like this episode, because it was actually some forward motion in this one.
I'm here for forward motion, and I loved seeing Bela on that dragon. Okay, I loved it. Kay, you were next in the building. Overall thoughts on this week's episode?
I'm ready to get to the brutality of it all. I'm glad they set us up here. I think usually when they have a really, really slow episode, it's to set us up for something major. And I really think that last scene that we got at the end, I think we needed that. We needed that conversation to happen so that we can proceed forward.
Absolutely. Definitely things that needed to happen happened in this episode to set us up. And I'm hoping that it's balls to the walls going forward. See, last but certainly not least, what were your overall thoughts of this episode? You're muted. You're
You're on
muted,
mute.
Z.
Ooh, sorry. I really enjoyed this episode. I feel like it did a lot of the foundational work. Like you can't just be getting straight into the battle. We got to see what's up. We got to get everyone's vibe first, and kind of set the ground for when the fight does happen. So I enjoyed the episode, and yeah, no complaints.
Okay, y'all. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. So, the episode opens up and we meet the Brackens and the Blackwoods, right? Two families, both alike in dignity. Just kidding. Okay. But clearly an age-old rivalry between these two. And mad about some moving land markers, it seems. I believe it's the Blackwoods who have claimed fealty to Aegon. The Brackens are in support of Rhaenyra, and it's up and it's stuck. Next scene we see is a bloody battlefield. Dom, I'm going to start with you. What did you think about this opening scene? Did this set the stage for anything for you?
I think this was more of a the show does this thing where they try and give us a perspective of like the everyday people. And because we spend so much time with highborn people and royalty, that they give us these points of views, like with Hugh, where of like, what are the everyday folk going through? And I felt like this was setting the stage for how chaotic this war is going to be, because everybody's going to have their own motivations, everybody's going to have their own point of view on what's going on, and they're going to use this conflict because nobody really cares about what's going on in the Red Keep. Nobody really deeply cares about Rhaenyra and Alicent and their feud. They're going to use this to, because we've been in peace for so long that tensions are high, and they're going to use this conflict as an excuse to get their own agendas forward. And I think this was setting the stage for how chaotic and crazy this war is going to be.
Absolutely. And we have a couple of chats here. Jasmine says the episode was all right. The last 15 minutes were excellent. Okay. Gabriel Girl says the episode illustrated how women understand war as being a real sacrifice and not just a grab for glory. Okay. This was proof of the futility and foolishness of war. I actually I agree with this statement. Fighting about rocks, shaking my head. Kay, what did you think about this scene between the Brackens and the Blackfoots?
I think the episode has been pointing at how this war is going to affect the commoners as well as the royals, and what that is truly going to mean. How is everybody else going to play their role? Even we see it's mainly against both House Targaryens, but what does this mean for the everyday folk? And I think they've been hinting at that for the past few episodes. So I really want to see what that translates to, because it's not all going to be about, the dragons. What is this going to do to everybody else?
What's the fallout going to be? Yeah,
Mhm.
because there's definitely going to be casualties, and these are the bodies
Mhm.
that are going to be sacrificed, right? C, what are your thoughts on this opening scene?
I loved it because we get to see how this war among royals affects everyone, and it kind of puts things into perspective because these people they're not getting anything one way or the other. Whoever win, it don't got nothing to do with them because their life isn't going to improve, right? If we're being honest about it, but they're going to sit here and put everything on the line for this royalty who don't give two snaps about them. Very interesting. But I did like the fact that it kind of misled us with introducing these characters, because I was thinking, okay, we might see a little bit more of these folks, right? And nope, sure enough, dead as a doornail. Next scene.
Miss D. Ray.
I was kind of hurt by that dead as a doornail scene though, because I don't know why I had high hopes for, I'm not sure if he was the Bracken or the Blackwood, but the one with the longer hair, because he seemed so nervous and jittery, but it was really trying him. So I was like, when he dared him, I was like, yes, get him, just get him. And then that was the first head on the ground. I was like, dang, he
Gone.
didn't get him.
Right. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
So I felt real bad for him, but like everyone's kind of said, it does show just the excuse for war in this scene. Y'all been beefing for ages, we find out later, and this just was a good catalyst to be like, okay, now I can give you what I've been waiting to give you. And so there's going to be plenty of that throughout all the kingdoms. So they set it up as a good opener to point that out.
Absolutely. And actually speaks to something that we see down the road. And we'll actually talk about Helena and her conversation with Alicent, because I think she's one of the only royals that we've actually seen empathize, but not only empathize, but have a true understanding of the small folk, right? And we'll get into that. But very smart on the behalf of on the part of the writers, I'll say that. And so meanwhile, at King's Landing, right? They get word of everything, and we're going to have a small council meeting. But first, we're presented with Sir Krispy Kreme. And all, the burden of his stupidity is heavy. It's on his shoulders. Do y'all see it? He's sitting there and he's stressed out because not only is he still commander of the King's Watch, right? Why? But he's also hand of the king. So now he got two jobs.
Right.
Right. And apparently this burden is so heavy, and he's also late in more ways than one. Okay. Okay. I'm starting with you because I know Sir Krispy Kreme is your favorite character.
So he thought cutting his hair was going to help him get into the role of a job that he's not qualified for. I'm like, is this going to help you prepare to do a job that you just know nothing about? Crispy, Sir Crispy. And then you in the small council room making all types of demands, like you just in there running things. Okay, he said, his death is going to be so satisfying because okay, you barely know how to do your job as a knight. What makes you think you can do your job as the hand of the king? You really don't even care anything about Aegon in the first place. You got, Eric killed, by the way. So you just pretending. Look at him. He looks like he's pretending. You have no idea what you're doing in this role, sir.
Barely. Okay. See, what about your people?
Y'all listen, I said this a many times, and let me add this disclaimer every episode. I'm here for Alicent. I'm Team Green specifically for Alicent. And now after this episode, what's his name? Armand. That's who I'm here for. Alicent and Armand. But yeah, Crispy, he just I like him less and less each episode. And honestly, through some part of season 1, I was trying to be here for him. I felt bad, like he done, risked it all for Rhaenyra and she turned him away. I felt bad for the guy. But he just kept that resentment, and it's making him into an angry man. And you can just see that if it wasn't for his place in life, like now he's the hand of the king. But as even Alicent's brother commented on later in the episode, we're going to touch on it, I'm sure. He came from humble beginnings, so he can only reach but so high, and it's all of this incel anger that he has, and it just makes him so unlikable. And I can't wait for him to slip up, that anger to trip him up in the wrong company, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I knew I didn't like Sir Krispy Kreme way back in episode 1 when he brutally violated that man because Rainier ain't want to go hold his sword anymore. Miss D Ray, what are your thoughts of Sir Crispy? What you thinking? What's going on?
Sir Krispy Kreme is a woman scorned. Um,
Mhm.
his feelings were hurt in season 1 because he really wanted Rhaenyra, and I'm trying to be a queen, gone somewhere. And then he took second best with Allison, and now you the stepdaddy that's eating the kids' snacks while they in the living room playing, and you ain't doing your job. You ain't got no job. So when you finally get the job and you sitting at the council table, y'all over here having a lover's quarrel that don't nobody else know what that really is, and y'all beefing about how to handle business because she done took your role away from you. That's all that really is, and you really don't know what you're doing. I'm just over him. I agree with Kay. It's gonna be good when he go.
Period. And we gonna get to the actual council meeting, but yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Dom, last but not least on this one.
Look, Mr. Cole is he is actually interesting seeing how he got this promotion. He keeps falling upwards, and it's amazing to watch. But and I know we'll get to the small council, but just in his position, this is how you see the difference in like one person can make, because he somehow is commander of the Night's Watch. I mean, commander of the City Watch and the Hand of the King. Imagine if Damon somehow became Hand of the King while he was head of the City Watch. You wouldn't be able to stop this man. This man would be incredibly unstoppable. But you'd have put the man child in those two positions, and he crumbling under the weight of all this responsibility. He can't even. He's just ill prepared. And I'm just waiting for the day he see Damon on the battlefield, because the day he see Damon on the battlefield is going to be a good day for me.
Oh, didn't he?
Didn't
Crispy already handed his tail in season 1? He done beat the.
That was a tournament. We don't play them games. This is real life.
He got to be on the dragon, Damon. Then we can.
Yeah. It's like difference between boxing and a ring and come see me on the street. It's different rules out here in these streets.
Tremaine says, I was hoping Bayla unalived Sir Cole with her. You will get to it. You're not the only one. I said, if you don't go scorched earth. I said, that's why I don't have a dragon, though, because I would be Damon. I'm burning everybody. Like, I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back in fire and in blood. Okay. Sir Krispy Kreme, his death will be the sweetest. Chevy D.
All puns intended.
Allison is the reason to have sympathy towards Chevy D. Yes. You have a compatriot, because I have no empathy or sympathy for Allison. Allison's brother politely read Crispy and did, and we're absolutely going to get into that. Okay. Arrow says she is not like her daddy. He needs to suffer. He does. But y'all, let's get right back into it. And so this is the one that got me, and I'm gonna go first on this one, y'all, because I got a little something to say about that. Ain't no way you busting it down open sideways, left and right for this man and don't have any influence. The cat's bad. Something ain't right. Either it's here. Either you let Sir Larys do some weird stuff with the feet that interfered with something. Maybe it's the summer heat. I don't know what it is, but there's no way that I am the mother, you know what I mean? The queen mother of it all. And you're bending me over backwards and you're acting like I'm not even speaking at this small council meeting. I can't abide it. And I'm going to start with you, C, the superior, because this is your queen. These are your people. Break it down for us, please.
For me, in my opinion, it don't got nothing to do with the cat. The cat could be superb. It's all about her spirit, right? She was raised to have kind of like be in service to men, right? So it's not in her nature to she lets men run all over her pretty much, unfortunately, right? And Crispy, he senses that in her. He's already got this anger and he already mad at women, period, because of Rhaenyra. So he ain't about to listen to anybody for referrals, at least of all a woman. And she doesn't have much of a say in her own household. We saw that in the other episode where she was even mentioning it to her father, like, hey, don't undercut me in front of the kids because they already barely even listen to me like this much anyway. They definitely about to just not listen to me at all if you keep doing that. So it's just unfortunately, you know, when people have like this victimhood mentality, which I'm not saying that that's what she has, but others specifically abusers, they can sense that about a person and they could take advantage of it. So she has this essence about her that says a man can walk all over me, unfortunately, and he's taking advantage of it. He don't pay her no mind, neither do her sons. And again, that's not Allison's fault. That's just how she was raised. She hasn't got over that childhood trauma, like I was telling y'all about. She need therapy, and you know that's that.
I'm gonna just say this: Cersei would never. But Miss D-Ray, you're next, friend.
I was just about to say that.
I mean, women already have it hard. So, like you said, for you to be busting it down and get disrespected at the table when you have the superior title, so to speak, because sir, you was only the king's guard at first. Like you just got to be the hand of the king, and that's because my daddy was snapping with his grandson and he was angry. Like it ain't because you good at your job. So I don't know. Allison, this was never her role, really. It was just really was never for her, and she trying.
It never should have been. And so during this, and I will give Sir Krispy Kreme this. You know, he's moving too fast, but he had the right thought that we need to get Harrenhal and make it a stronghold, right? That's the place that everybody's vying for. So in that, he won't wrong. But the fact that Allison couldn't get a word, he wasn't hearing nothing Allison says. Dom, you're the man on the panel. I'm a hand this to you, sir. Let us know what this was all about. What was this dynamic?
I'm gonna tell you this. Not only would Cersei not, but anybody that Cersei put it down on was eating out of her hand. Anybody that Daenerys put it down on was eating out of her hand. Daenerys took the whole Dothraki kingdom because she popped it open and busted backwards. And that's literally how she got respect for Khal Drogo, was how she put it down. She was like, I'm not finna lay here. I'm finna put it down on you. You finna show me some respect. That scene right there is what changed the whole trajectory of Daenerys Targaryen. So you can't tell me that the power of pushing P ain't powerful in Game of Thrones. And so Allison just ain't got it. She ain't built for this. And it ain't hitting right. I don't know if she needs to listen to some more Cardi B. It ain't working. And I think what it is she too vanilla. Like, she not letting Kristen do what he really want to do. Like, she in control. She telling him what to do. She got him on his knees. He don't feel like a man. And so if you don't make me feel like a man, I don't want to do what you want to do. And so she gotta let him do some weird stuff. That's the problem. She not letting him do the weird stuff that Larys was doing. You gotta let him keep the cape on when he do it. Like, that's all it is. Allison ain't built for this. Allison should be the most powerful woman in the Seven Kingdoms and Essos. Like, she got her son as the king. The dude that she's sleeping with has all the power. That's not the king. He's the most powerful person that's not the king with his two positions. And she birthed one came out of her and one's coming in her, and she still ain't got no say. It's unreal. It's unreal. There's no way Cersei would ever. So if Cersei was in this position, the show would be over because she would win.
Period. Period. And Shivy D says Olivia Cook Allison in today's world would be a trad wife. Kay, last but not least, what do you think? What do you think of that? And what do you think of this arrangement between she and Sir Crispy. Is the cat bad? Is that what it is?
I need him to put some of that salty seasoning on some food because he didn't even have a look at her at small council. He's sitting back. He wasn't even sitting up straight. He just laid back in his little chair like this. Is what we're gonna do right here. Not that, but this the plan. We're gonna take these people over here. We're gonna leave this dragon here. Just you too comfortable. Why you that comfortable? That's not your house. You not the king. He too comfortable for me. And she let him as the queen, because Cersei would have, Daenerys would have, as the queen, she would have stood up and said, look, I don't know who you think you're talking to like this. But no, she just sat there looking at him all bug-eyed and whatnot. Ma'am, use your power. Okay. That's why Rhaenyra need to take it away. Because you ain't even doing what you're supposed to be doing with your position and power.
I agree. Steve Smith says, yeah, Cersei would have crashed out at that council meeting and would have. Period. Absolutely. Did everybody get a chance to go before we go to the next slide on that? Yeah. Did you go, Miss D. Ray?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anybody, y'all. Okay. So here's the thing, right? We already talked about their plan, right? They're going to ride out. Sir Crispy is going to go have a scouting party to go and try to take Harrenhal because that's the stronghold we need, because we find out later that the Riverlands is the biggest army that's undeclared. So whoever they declare for is going to have advantage, in the war. And so now we're at Dragonstone and we see the women, right? We see the women's. We see Rhaenyra, Baela, and Rhaenys. And I'm calling these ladies the trifecta here. If I can get Rhaenyra to put her big girl panties on, like I need her to do, which I hope the end of this episode is going to trigger that, because she's been mealy mouthed up to this point, and I don't like that for her. But she, Baela, Rhaenys, they're talking, and the men are over talking them, right? The men are over talking Rhaenyra, and they're talking about what their plan should be. And Rhaenys is kind of cutting her eyes at everybody, and she's like, "This is y'all's queen. Like, what? You have to listen to her, guys. This is not that." But I do think that if these three women can get on the same page, they would be fierce. I honestly want Rhaenys to be her hand. I think that is the most appropriate way to maneuver this, because the queen that never was is giving more queen than any of these other ladies thus far. I get it's Miss D. Ray. It's back to you. What are your thoughts on this dynamic? What do you think about these three ladies? And what do you think about Rhaenyra as we see her right now? Kind of trying to find her way, not really asserting herself fully. How do you feel?
I was underwhelmed by her at all of these round tables, because she showed her nerves, and I ain't like that. She was thinking too long in their face about what her next words need to be, and she just looked scared. And so the men smell the fear, ma'am. You can't show them you scared, because now they're gonna try to overrun you. So that disappointed me. Bayla is about to be one of my new favorites. She finna show us something. That one scene on her and that dragon was enough for me to be like, okay, I got to watch her for the rest of the season. And I do think that she is going to be a important game piece. Because she got the heart for it. And she also has a little wisdom, because in that scene where she's talking to the other sister, and she's like, hey, you got a role to play. You're gonna be all right. Like, she has a little wisdom in her. And then of course Rhaenys, I I really wish somewhere in life they hadn't overlooked Rhaenys, because she probably was the queen they needed. But
Period.
Rhaenyra got to listen to her, and I know she does take her into counsel, but I think she should talk to her a little bit more. And she needs to see the eye contact across the table, man. Pay attention. She be trying to guide you and help you, and you be looking crazy. Um, but I just, yeah, Rhaenyra need to put her big girl panties on. We need to see some dominance. She need to channel some Lady Mormont, because that little girl from Game of Thrones had some gangster. I need you to get some gangster in yourself, and
Period.
set them down the way she did. Because that's what it's gonna take. And we already know
Absolutely.
Damon don't respect you, so you
Ugh.
gonna need to gather the other underlings, because you ain't got the big dog.
Okay, Dom, take a look at this comment and let me know your thoughts on this power dynamic with Rhaenyra, Bela, and Rhaenys.
Oh yeah, that quote from Olenna is one of the quotables from Game of Thrones from OG, and Olenna is an OG, and put some
OG,
respect on her name and post some out for OG Olenna. I want Cersei to know it was me, like that. Oh, don't play on with Olenna's name, but Rhaenyra in these episodes is the product of a problem I had with season 1. And because in season 1, after Viserys stood on the fact that Rhaenyra was going to be the heir, and he was like, "You will not be usurped. You my heir. I'm declaring it." There was nothing. We didn't really see a lot of preparation of her to be queen. Like we didn't see her go to any small council meetings. We didn't see her just shadowing Viserys. We didn't see the preparation. She was very studious. Like she read and she studied and she knew her history, but we didn't see any, like she wasn't at the petitions. Like we saw, like when the townsfolk come, the petitions came. We didn't see Rhaenyra really training to be a ruler, and now we're seeing kind of the product of that is like when stuff hits the fan, she's not necessarily indecisive, but she's not projecting strength and she's not projecting confidence. And like Ms. D say, they smell it, and you got to. And at this point, I don't know what shakes her at this point, what pushes her to action, because they usurping her throne didn't push her to action. Them killing her son didn't push her to action. Now we got all of them sending an assassin didn't push her to action. So I'm like, at what point are we going to get the dragon? At what point are we going to get Rhaenyra Targaryen, first of her name, Queen of the Seven Kingdoms? I have yet to see her show up, and at this point, she got to, or give it to somebody else, or just let Allison and the Hightowers and the Greens just stay over there, because you tripping, you playing on your own name at this point.
Dom tired. He said, "Listen, Rhaenyra, he's tired, sis. I need you to get it together." And I feel the same way. Kay.
I hope that last conversation pushes her to that anger we need. She need to have that good old fashioned Targaryen dragon anger, and she ain't got it yet, but she needs to have it. Okay, she should have had it after Luke died, but I need her to have that, and have the, you know what? She need to have the spirit of Daemon at this point, because that's what we need to win the war. I need you to get on the same page. I mean, I know he a little unhinged at time, but he got, he's thinking in the right direction. At this point, she need to get on his level. Okay, ain't no niceness in war. How you gonna be nice and have war? That's not how it works, Rhaenyra.
Not how any of this works. See?
I'm glad that Rhaenyra is getting a little what she deserves, because this woman is so used to having the men in her life do everything for her. It's ridiculous. She can barely make a decision. Grew up in around her father making decisions her whole life, and here it is, her time to shine, and she don't know what to do with herself. So I'm glad the veil is finally being uncovered, revealing her true self as this person who just needs other people to do for her, and is used to it. Even now, Rhaenys got to come in and take the place of the male in her life, because her husband done left the street. She don't know where that man is. We found out where he's at in this episode. So I don't know. I just don't like Rhaenyra, man. I don't know what y'all see in her, but I don't see it.
Yeah. Miss D Ray. Did you go first, Miss D Ray? You went first on this?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. We love Rhaenyra because she's the rightful heir. Okay. That's why I love her down, because she's supposed to be the queen.
It's hers. Yes. Period.
It's her legacy. And we don't like people usurping positions that aren't theirs. You know what I'm saying? It's a right and a wrong of things, right? But moving right along, we're not gonna get stuck in the weeds there. My prince, it's your grace. All right. What Damon got going on, y'all? He done made it to Hell, Sir Simon Strong, who is the patriarch of the Strongs, who we saw two of them unalived. You know, these are Rhaenyra's children's granddaddy, grandsire, I guess we want to say on that side. The true grandsire. And a lot happened in this exchange, which I really appreciated. I think we are fully aware now of Damon's motivation and his intention. We also know that he's smarter than everyone and he moves faster because he has a dragon, right? And also that Sir Strong ain't slow or delayed. He knows exactly about Laris. He knows everything that happened, and he's no fool because he said, "Damon, I'm not trying to poison you, bro. Like, what you want? You want my fealty, your grace? Absolutely, whatever you need." But this lady in black, this black-haired woman, this I don't know if she's into witchcraft or wizardry or what, but we got a dreamscape. We got some weird vibes. You're gonna die here. And we know Hell is a cursed castle. Dom, I'm starting with you. What are your thoughts of this scene and Damon's experience at Harrenhal with Sir Simon Strong?
So I got a master's degree in creepy women on screen. And whenever you see a pale woman dressed in black that says creepy stuff and then walk away, that's a witch. That's a witch. And so when in most of the time in Game of Thrones, whatever she said gonna come true. Yeah, she finna go have tea with the red ladies from Game of Thrones, and they finna throw leeches in the fire. But Damon, first of all, the strong man, he punching the clock. He don't care about nothing. He said, "Look, I'm doing this because this is my job. Oh, you coming to take the castle? Well, I'm gonna get on my knees. I'm gonna say the words. Take it. I'm not finna fight nobody for nothing." And Damon is the only one. Not that Otto Hightower is out of commission for the time being. Damon the only one out here playing 3D chess. He out here playing 3D chess because you got to be real. You got to pay attention to what he says. Because when he showed up at the castle, he said, "I'm claiming the castle." He didn't say, "I'm claiming the castle on behalf of the one true queen, Rhaenyra Targaryen." He didn't say none of that. He said, "I'm claiming this castle." And now he's forcing people to say, "Your grace," when that is not his position. He playing chess. Because, and Rhaenys said it, I think, last episode when she was in bed talking to Corlys, that Damon's not going to outright challenge Rhaenyra. He's not going to stand in front of the throne and be like, "I should be king." That's not what he going to do. Damon too slick for that. He just going to be out here in the streets. He going to bolster his reputation up. And so the real people out here are going to see him as a king. And then the moment Rhaenyra slip up or the moment she make a bad decision, the people are going to call for him to be king. And that's the game he playing. He gonna be like, "I didn't do it. This is what they want. They asked me to do this." That's how he gonna play that. And then I halfway want it to work because Rhaenyra tripping out here in these streets. So I halfway want Damon to go ahead and take over because that's who we need to win this war.
You know, I want to say you wrong, but I can't say you wrong because here's the thing. Even in the conversation with the sea snake and Rhaenys while they were in bed, post-coital bliss, you know, it's something about seeing Daemon at Rhaenyra's side that makes her more palatable to the people, right? Because even though she's the queen, if Daemon's there, I have this masculine energy that I can support, right? I can ride for. So absolutely, you're not wrong. And again, he is playing chess, but I want to know about this prophecy. Kay, what did you think about witchcraft and wizardry, number one? The ghost trying to get into his bedroom. What did you think about Damon's whole experience at Harrenhal? The leaky ceiling. It was everything bad.
I mean, it may be the biggest castle, but it's the most ghetto one. Okay, they ain't even trying to fix it. They said we just gonna let it look like how it looked like when y'all ancestors came and tried to burn it down. If y'all ain't gonna fix it, I ain't gonna fix it. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I think Damon is trying to conquer as much as he can, and then come. And so when Rhaenyra is like, "Oh, he gonna be up." You mean me? I took this. You didn't take it because you see, He didn't talk to her about it. He ain't consult with nobody. Damon is going to be like, I did this. This was all me. Y'all didn't help me. I did it by myself. I don't need nobody. I could do all this by myself. He's gonna be in that type of area. But I need him to take heed of the warning. Because you are at a haunted castle, I need you to pay attention. Just like how people need to pay attention to Helena, you need to pay attention to them dreams. Because when you get some foreshadowing, I need you to pay attention to it. And I don't think he's at the point where he's paying it any mind. But it's going to come back and bite him, though. He's going to see it again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This ain't over. This is not the last we've seen her. When she walked in, I said, oh, we finna see her multiple times. See, what were your thoughts on the Cursed Castle and Damon's moves?
Damon a snake, always gonna be a snake, always was a snake. He can't get it together, not even for his sister, not his sister, his niece, wife. He can't even get it together. And this man, this older man, I forget his name, the one who's a leader of the castle. He's like, yeah, whatever you like, whatever you say. I don't know if that's an act, because is it just gonna be whoever rolled up first? It would have been whatever they say do. Like, what's really, where do your loyalty lie? You sit up here in this little nasty castle, and it's almost like if he was smart, he'd play both sides and get funds from both of them sides to fix that little nasty castle. But we want to see what happens. I feel like Damon didn't get poisoned by the peas, but he got poisoned by something, because in visions and ghosts and spirits he was seeing, it didn't bode well. And it makes me wonder why he saw Rhaenyra not as herself, but as her child self. A little questionable. Put him on the list. But
He's a fan.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
I don't know. I feel like Damon just got to get the heck up out of there. It's not boding well for him if he wants to live.
Okay, Miss D. Ray.
A minor.
Right. I don't. So unfortunately, I think that this was my most unliked scene, only because he in this haunted castle. We know Game of Thrones, like, and this universe likes to throw out the superstitious, but I need my superstitious to make sense. And this just came out of left field for me. Like, yes, you went to Harrenhal. We know it got burnt down. Dragonfire is supposedly haunted, but like she said, why is we looking at baby Rhaenyra, unless that's still the version of her that you love and you respect and that you care about, because you could tell her what the hell to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then this random woman, and he's standing at this tree, and I was like, wait, is that the tree? The
Godswood
tree?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just hate stuff that don't make sense. When I'm watching shows and stuff just don't tie together, and I can't even reach for the straws to tie it together, it bothers me. So that's how I felt about this scene. However, I know it's gonna come back, so I'm gonna just take note of that. I feel like Damon needs to take note of that, because the lady did tell him he gonna die in this place. So, sir, next time you come here, I think you need to heed that warning whenever you get by this tree again, and be like, "Dang, this it, ain't it?" And whatever you was gonna do, you might need to do it different. But I did appreciate the conversation at the table, because Buddy was like, "Listen, you think I don't know Larry ain't no good? You think his dad and his brother just died in a fire? Ain't been no fire in this wet castle? Come on, sir." I did appreciate that conversation, and like you said, he was just like, "Whatever. I been the knee, sir. We good. You can go talk to Tully over there. He's sick. He about to pass out, but he'll probably been the knee too."
The
And
Tully's
I
always
appreciated all
weird
of
and
that.
sick. They've been like that forever, those Tullys. It's interesting seeing these houses from before. Even the Lannister who's on the small council, I'm like,
They
okay.
look like them though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, y'all. And I think we start with you, but here we go. After the meeting, she's like, Corliss, we really need you in the council with Rhaenyra, because like Dom mentioned, I think last week, Rhaenys respect that man. She submit to her leader of her household. Do you hear me? She said, if I can't make the decision, my husband, he'll be fine soon. He'll be able to make it, right? And so she comes to him after the council meeting where she sees that clearly Rainier is not really being respected by her counsel and says, we need you there because he's also shown himself to be very equitable and fair, right? But during this conversation, legacy comes up, which we see throughout the entire series, from Game of Thrones to now, right? What's the legacy? What are we going to carry on? Who is going to carry on our name? And so she's like, listen, we need to give Rain a Driftmark. Like, he said, but we have a grandson. We have one grandson or two grandsons left, right? But the one who could inherit Driftmark, why are we not going to give it to him? He's got our name, right? And Rhaenys is like, but we all know what the truth is. Give our grandbaby that we know is ours Driftmark. And so I'm interested to see where that's going to go. But of course, meanwhile, we find out that Sea Smoke is restless, which was Laenor's old dragon, right? He's war ready. And my thought this whole time, you guys, was why don't we give Sea Smoke to Rhaena? She's the only one without a dragon. Why can't she have a dragon? But we find out, and we'll get to that slide later, that Rhaenyra has other plans for her. I'm going to start with UK. I believe it's your turn. What do you think about that? Do we give Rhaena Driftmark? Do we make her heir?
We gonna train Rhaena for Driftmark? Are we gonna train her with the dragon? Because I think the dragon gotta want to accept you too. So I mean, if we gonna give her something, we need to prepare her for these things. Because y'all be trying to pop these children in these roles that they not ready for. Y'all got to train them up instead of just thinking that they just gonna know stuff. Y'all gonna put them there and leave them alone. If y'all want Raina to have Driftmark, y'all need to train her in that area. And are we gonna talk to Damon about that? How does he feel? Because what if y'all give her Driftmark and he be like, "Why you ain't give it to me?" It's gonna cause some family confusion. We need to have a family meeting about this.
Family meeting. See, what do you think?
I think she didn't get Driftmark because Rhaenyra got used her like she was using that other little daughter. But we gonna talk about she got to use these poor little black girls and don't give a damn about them. But all right, yo, we ain't gonna act like we gonna peep it because I peep it. But Rhaenys coming to Rhaenyra's defense yet again, and I'm thinking, why is it Rhaenyra has all of this people coming to bat for her, and I just hate it. I hate it, and I'm thinking, why is this always the case? And the fact that no one clocks her for the stuff that she does, because when she sit that little girl down and say, "Hey, I know what you want to do, but I'm going to send you here against your will, against, re-traumatize you by sending you back to the birthplace where your mother died. Let me send you there. You don't want to go," without any kind of, she made not one comment about, "I'm sending you there for you to be safe." She made a comment about, "I'm sending you there so you can keep my kids safe." That's what the heck she was worried about. And I just hate that. But her getting Driftmark, I guess if they're going to do that.
I'm gonna make it about Rhaenyra right now, but we are definitely going to get to it because there are problematic aspects of that, in my opinion. But Ms. D-Ray, your thoughts? Can Rhaena handle Driftmark? And Rhaenys is a superior dragon rider who could train her grandbaby, right? The issue has been that Rhaena just didn't have access to a dragon. So what do you think about that?
So giving her Driftmark right now, I think would be a disservice to her. Like Kay said, she got to get some training. She got to get a dragon. She got to get some know-how. She don't even be in the room when the stuff be popping off. We don't see enough of her. So she got to get some training up before we say, "Here you go, here's Driftmark." But I do understand where they like, yes, this one, not that one, because we know this one is Targaryen. However, I don't think that Lena's dragon is the one for her. It's ready for war. She ain't ready for war.
Mm-hmm.
And so she gonna get up there and that dragon gonna buck her every which way, and she gonna be lost to her own dang on dragon. I just don't think she's ready. Now her mama is an excellent rider. Teach the children. Teach the children. I mean, a grandmama. Teach the people, whatever. But she ain't ready yet. I think that Rhaenyra is sending her where she's sending her, um, was probably the best path for her. Get her out the war's way. Put her to the side. I mean, maybe somewhere that wasn't traumatizing for her, but where is that? Where is that? So put her out the way.
She don't have her mama. Any place is probably traumatizing at this point, but that may be more so. Now Stormcloud and Syraxis also went, in addition to the dragon eggs, right? And they're younger dragons, which will grow up eventually. So maybe she'll. I want to listen. I want everybody who can to have a dragon because we need them to burn stuff up. Dom, what are your thoughts on Raina getting Driftmark? What do you think about that? And about Sea Smoke. Somebody made a good point in the comments though that he may not accept her because Laenor isn't dead, right? So there's
Yeah,
that.
and I believe, and I don't know if the show really hits this home, but I believe the bond between a rider and the dragon isn't just like a personal relationship. It's like a magical bond. And so I don't know if the shows really pinpoint that as much as I think the literature does, but I don't think it'll be as easy as just like, oh, well, let me ride you now. It's not like a horse. And so and also Sea Smoke's been restless and been flying over probably because he still smell old boy, but can't go get him. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what's going on with Sea Smoke? He need to go to therapy. He been dealing with a lot. And so he ain't got to mourn. The other dragon that Rhaenyra ride got to mourn the loss of her baby dragon. And so she got to heal. The Sea Smoke ain't been able to heal. And also, taming a dragon is dangerous. Like this, that is not an easy thing. And like Damon, when Damon went, remember when Damon went to that cave and he was singing the old Valerian song, and he got to get the other dragon. And that was dangerous. Like he was being real tentative about that dragon. Is not an easy thing, and I don't know if she built for that or if she's ready for that. You know, and so and also I think that where they sent them. I'm worried that some tomfoolery is about to go down where they sent them, because those eggs that she went with, them eggs look real familiar. Them look like eggs, them look like Danny's eggs. And
they are.
And so if them Danny eggs, that means they never hatch in this show, which means which means they stay over there, because that's where Danny found them, was over there. And so they stay over there. They don't ever hatch, which means some mess go down over there. And so I'm worried about what's going to happen over there. About all of them kids. I'm worried about all them kids. She might not need to worry about Driftmark, because she might not see Driftmark again. So
that's when I saw that little tree, I was scared.
Yeah, when we was looking at the family tree and we realized that the strong kids and the black kids never had no kids. This is
problematic.
I'm upset. And we know by the time we get to Game of Thrones, there ain't no Valarians left. It ain't no black, white-haired people. So
none at all. Gabriel says she is very smart. She doesn't have a dragon. Make her queen of the sea. Her granddaddy isn't a dragon rider. I'm all here for that.
Yeah.
They can still get their legacy if they can keep these babies alive. Dala SL says, do you guys think Laenor will come back? I do. I don't know, for whatever reason. I think last week's episode when Jace and Bela are talking about it, and she's asking, how did my uncle treat you guys? And he was like, he was great, a great dad, whatever. And then his restless dragon, I don't know in what capacity, but I think we're going to see him again. I don't know if he'll come back, but maybe we'll get to see where he's at and how he's living. What do y'all think? Anybody have thoughts on that?
No, I think he'll come back.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll come back, but I didn't read the books. So I'm just saying, based off of what I've seen in the show, I don't think so. But
it would be nice.
And see, I think so, just because of how Game of Thrones do stuff, and they've done that before. And I think it would be, but I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. I think he comes back like when the fighting starts and it's dragon versus dragon and the blacks are up, they got their back against the wall, and all of a sudden he come in riding Sea Smoke again, and he just come in and save the day. I think it's gonna be something like that. I don't think he's gonna show up for tea. It's gonna be dramatic.
I'd be here for that. The Nerdy Bruce says the Valerians are around time of Game of Thrones, but they aren't prominent. Okay, y'all. And
Okay.
Gabriel, I haven't read the book. Has anyone on the panel read these books? I've read A Song of Ice and Fire, but I haven't read
I haven't read
these books. Okay, you guys, and we're gonna take a quick little break, and we will be right back. We'll be right back.
I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put a little bad bitch, not committal. If you with your cold real, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friends set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put a little bad bitch, not committal. If you with your cold real, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friends set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put a little bad bitch, not committal.
Thank y'all so much for being here. Be sure to like in the chat. Make sure you're interacting with us. Share, do all the things, y'all. We are so happy that you guys have been here with us for the past couple weeks and are here with us tonight. And we hope you come back next week, y'all. But let's keep going because we still got more. Helena, who I always say, you must listen to Helena, right? Every single time she's going to drop some nuggets of wisdom. And this time was no different. She says, you know what, Allison? Because Allison comes in there mopey as usual, and she says, you know what? I forgive you. I forgive you for being a terrible mother. She doesn't say terrible mother, y'all, but she just says, I forgive you. And Allison's like, and I know she wanted to say for what, but Allison, you already know what it was, right? And so Helena also shares about Frankenstein baby and the processional with the small folks and how, she said, I feel grief and I'm feeling it, right? But what right do I really have to my grief when I know that the small folks lose their babies every day, right? And this again is the first time, and we alluded to it at the very beginning of this live, but the first time that we have someone of nobility that actually is considering the small folk and what they may be going through and experiencing in their daily lives. And I don't know if everyone else is just not observant or if she's just the one that's taking the time to really sit and watch, everything that's going on. C, I believe it's your turn. What did you think about this interaction between your queen and Helena?
I think it again speaks to Allison not having not being able to nurture because she wasn't nurtured. And I honestly feel like feels like she's more in a safe space with and around women. Again, she's a woman of faith and she's more around women in that faith. She's also more close to her daughter than she is with her sons. And we can even see with her friendship with Rhaenyra when they were younger, she definitely kind of has like more of an affinity towards women, I feel. And again, it could just be because the men in her life never showed up for her, but here we are. I do think it was when her daughter did forgive her, we saw that she was speechless because it's something that she's wanted. I said in the other episode, when we see it in her face that she wants to be this nurturing person to her children, she just doesn't know how. So it's a relief that her daughter is kind of sees that in her as well and is able to facilitate that for her. So I thought it was a really good scene.
Okay.
Helena's real nice. She's real nice because Allison don't deserve her forgiveness. You made your daughter sit there and marry her own crazy ass Chucky looking brother. Okay, you don't get no forgiveness from me. You was over there, at the rodeo show with the person who's supposed to be guarding us. You don't deserve nobody's forgiveness right now, Allison. So she should be happy that she has precious little Helena and guard her with all the things. Because Allison, no, you no, you don't deserve nobody forgiveness. Now, because you still doing messed up stuff. You ain't learned yet.
Okay, Miss D Ray. What do you think I'm
I I myself did think the forgiveness was, I know you was laid up while my baby got, and the man who's supposed to be protecting my baby was in here with you, but I forgive
saying?
you anyway. I really thought that's what that was about. But I also think that Helena is a little bit. I mean, we know she's got some kind of supernatural power to her, and now I kind of think that she could potentially even be an empath because of that scene with the funeral when they're rolling a procession through the street, and she gets so overwhelmed. Now looking back on it, I'm like, dang, was she feeling the people? Like, was it some kind of connection where all their emotions was piling up on her and it was too much? Was she a little bit on the spectrum? I don't know. But um I wholeheartedly think that that forgiveness was because you should feel guilty, mama. This was on
Mm,
y'all.
mm.
Um and the root of this was also on you. And I done warned y'all time and time again, and y'all don't be listening when I say the rats and the dragons under the building. Y'all don't listen to me. So I forgive you for not listening to me. Cause this on y'all. I
So
feel
this was
like that's what it
blanket
takes.
forgiveness. She said,
It was
"Listen,
blanket
you've
forgiveness.
done a lot of wrong stuff, but just know
Yeah. And
maybe
I
you
know.
stay in a state of forgiveness." I stand Helena. Socially awkward and all because she's got the most sense on Team Green, in my opinion. Dom, well, now that Hightower is gone, and I didn't think I would ever miss Otto, but I miss Otto. Dom, what did you think about this interaction?
Boy, the devil you know is better than I would rather an old, controlling man with sense than an impressionable young man with no experience. I just
Woo, a
is
word.
that's not who I want steering the boat. And so, but what's the queen's name? I get so many names. Helena, my bad. Helena is gonna be the caution. I'm telling you, Helena just all she is the only person who read the books, and she's just inside the show. So she gonna keep giving people spoilers, and they're not gonna pay attention, and they're gonna keep dying. I don't think they'll ever. I don't think we'll ever get to a point in the show where they be like, "Hey, she be spitting. Let's listen to her." We'll never get there. I don't because at that point, because could you imagine how would the shift of the show would be if they like, oh, she could tell the future. Let's listen to her and like actually move on that. Who? There's nobody except Allison that cares enough or puts Helena as valuable enough to believe anything she says. I don't
Mm,
care who it is. One, because she's a woman. Two, because she's on the spectrum, and three, because she's still a woman. And so there's nobody who's gonna give her words any credence, especially not her husband brother. Um, but I think for us, the audience, she'll still be. I think she'll be like what they were trying to make Bran in regular Game of Thrones as like the
mm,
person who deserves the most, like the actual the best true person on the show. I think that's what they wanted to make Bran is like the best. You're the actual good person on the show, and I think they dropped the ball with the execution with Bran. But I think that's what they're trying to do with Helena. Like Helena is the purest person on the show. She's the actual good person on the show,
mhm.
and she deserves all the good stuff, and she won't get any of it. Like I think that will be her function on the show.
Ah, just heartbreaking. Darth Revan says, it's very interesting to see this Helena reason through the death of her son because in the book, the poor woman falls into despair and never recovers. Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
but in the book, also I didn't read the books, but I be hearing people talk about the books, and the way that the son's death went in the books was way worse than what they did in the show. I was like, because it was like between two sons, and they told her to pick a son, and she picked the son, and they killed the other son and told the son she picked was like, see, your mama wants you dead. Like that would mess me. That's much worse. Like don't do that. I would jump off a building and be like Tommen and just walk out the window.
Poor Tom. Oh, PTSD, man. We already kind of talked about this, but I do want to know really quickly from you guys, who do you think Raina will become? We already addressed the sea smoke thing, but who do you think she'll become? I'll start with you, Miss D-Ray.
So I saw somebody earlier in the comments when we were mentioning the eggs, with her going to protect the eggs, that there were 4, and Daenerys only got 3. So someone said she may still get a dragon. I don't know that from the books or the series, but if they give her a dragon, she might be a bad girl. She might put her big girl drawers on and, play a major role at that house, because something gonna happen. Like Dom said earlier, something gonna happen out there.
I agree.
So she may yet be a real player in the show, because I don't think they just gonna send her away to sleep on her with all the kids.
I absolutely agree. I wonder though, I beg this question, right? With her being sent away really against her will, right? This is not the life she wants. Will it harbor resentment? And how is she going to raise Rhaenyra's children? Dom, what you think?
I think from what we've seen, she has a kind heart. She has a loving spirit. I think that, but my thing, I don't think that she's gonna get too much raising in. I think they're gonna. I think as soon as they go over there, it's gonna get real ugly. Hopefully, I didn't clock that there were 4 eggs, so hopefully she does get a dragon. And then maybe things won't be as dire as soon. But I think Rhaenyra is sending them over there to be safe, and they won't be safe. That's just my estimation. So I think when they get over there, it'll be about survival, and so she won't really get too much raising in.
Sure. KC, any thoughts on these people before I go to the next?
Yeah. I don't remember there being 4 eggs. I think there were 2 little dragons and 3 eggs.
And there were 2 little dragons and the eggs.
2 little dragons and 3 eggs, which begs the question: how come this girl couldn't get a dragon? Like, what was the point? Why couldn't she get a dragon? Because you just about to give it to Auntie M way over there, who only requested 1 dragon. So what was going on? The reason is Rhaenyra wanted a mammy to raise her kids, and she assigned it to the black girl. That's the reason, because she could have gave her a dragon, but she didn't. That's what I got to say.
Gonna get to that because that was my thing. Be my nursemaid, okay? And I'll send you with 2 baby dragons and 4 dragon eggs, and it gave mammy. It did. If we're gonna talk about tropes in cinema, right? It did give that. Be my nursemaid. Be my wet nurse to my children.
Against your will.
And I see a young lady, I see multiple ladies, probably handmaidens in her court that she could have used for this. But why Raina? Was this altruistic, or was there something else implied? Kay, I'm gonna hand it to you.
I don't think Raina's gonna get a dragon. I don't think in the book. I don't think she got a dragon. You got to want to go. You got to get the spirit of the dragon to go out and get your dragon, because you should have beat Aemon's ass when he took your dragon, because that was your mama's dragon. We should be actually trying to go get Vhagar at this point. But I always get worried when they send the children away, because that didn't work out in Marcella's favor.
Oh, we saw how that went. Another trauma.
Right. So I don't ever feel too confident when they send the kids away, because sometimes they don't make it back.
And they don't. All right. We meet Gwaine, Allison's brother, and he comes in, y'all, and I was excited. I said, oh, he's going to give Sir Krispy Kreme a run for his money. He is going to do the absolute most, and I was here for it because he checked him right away. He was a Dornishman, commander in hand, like you reached, right? You're far above your station. And he kind of looks at him and I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, I'm going to go on this campaign with you. I'm going to go with you. And so Kristen's like, we're full. We have a full company. Like, I don't need you. And he says, no, I'm going to go anyway. And so, I'm thinking I'm thinking, okay, he's got some cojones, right? He's going to get out here and do his big one. But all he wants to do is party. Gwaine disappointed me with them big old tears in his eyes as they got run into the woods. I felt some kind of way, if I can be honest with you. I ain't like it one bit. See, I'm gonna start with you. What you think about your queen's brother, friend? What you think?
I'm hoping that he's just as big of a snake as Damon, that he's, going to surprise us with some conniving situations, because he clearly don't like Christian, and rightfully so. And I feel like this is just a plant. He's a plant in the garden, and he's about to put something in on Christian. I don't know if he's going to frame him for something, or like be, sowing seeds of doubt in the army that they got there. But he definitely ain't come to play. He's just a little wet around, behind the ears. But that comes with time. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I wonder, is he gonna be the one to figure out, the stuff that's going on between the two? Because he looked like he got an eye for just reading people and body language. So I would like him to figure that out and report it back to Otto. Go ahead and do that. Put that bug in his ear, and then, because Otto will snitch anyway, because he gonna make what happens needs to happen. So I want him to notice something. Go back and tell your dad, and let Otto do what he do best.
That part, because he made it known. He said, my daddy been hand of the king for multiple kings, and you just came in and okay. Miss D-Ray, thoughts on Gwaine?
She stole the words out of my mouth. I want Gwaine to be the one to be like, sir, is you with my sister? Because no. And then he need to get him the backhand of Sir Krispy Kreme. But the way he ran through the woods don't give me the confidence that he's that one. When he wanted to, go party it up at the tavern, he just seemed like a butthole. Like he just you that frat boy. I know I didn't have frats back then, but you know what I mean. The jock type with no personality, and you big stuff because your daddy named Hightower. He really was giving me that vibe at that moment, and I was disappointed because I thought she was gonna come in here and run some stuff. Um, but you look scared, trying to get away from that dragon. But I want him to redeem himself because I want him to be the one to say, Kristen, get your hands off my sister.
I wanted to, friend. That's my hope. Dom, Tears for Fears is what it was when they saw Bela come down with Moon Dancer, right? They was scared. Gwaine's eyes got big and full of tears. The night is full of terrors, and his eyes were full of tears, okay? And they were speed racing into the forest. And I felt like I said, if I was Bela, I'm burning it all down, scorched earth to the earth, burn the forest, burn the trees, because I'm tired of playing with y'all. But we find out she was given the directive by Rhaenyra, do not engage. Dom, what you think about the lack of engagement there?
So one, that's another reason why Bela is going to be such a fierce chess piece in this game, because she can follow directions. And she, even when I want to do what I want to do, I want to be a dragon. My queen told me not to do that, so I didn't do that. But I got close enough to make sure I saw who I said I saw, so I can report back. So Bela is going to be a good soldier. Now, y'all not gonna hate on Sir Gwaine as hard as y'all hating on him, because if you got a fire-breathing Godzilla flying towards you from the sky, and remember, this is medieval times. This is fantasy medieval times. There's no planes, there's no helicopters. So the only thing that big in the sky is breathing fire and eating you. So when you got that on your ass, you got the hard ass. Like that's not. That wasn't. They were just being good soldiers. Good soldiers know when to retreat, and they got the safety. And don't hate on Sir Gwaine, and don't hate on him because he don't want to sleep on the ground. If we ain't got to sleep on the ground, why would I sleep on the ground? It's 2 miles down the road. I can sleep in the bed, but you want to sleep on the ground. Why would I do that? It's not. Sir Gwaine is a church mother. At the end of the day, he is a Baptist church lady. Because the way he showed up and was the way you was being polite but throwing shade, but I'm gonna stand on my business and I'm a little rude, but you can't say I'm rude because when you tell other people what I said, when you retell it, it gonna sound like it was nice. So only me and you know I was being rude. He's just a church lady. That's all he is. He's just a church lady. And he a little petty. You know, the high towers always got their pinky up. So that's all it is. Leave Gwen alone, man. Leave Gwen alone because he steam pressed his cake. That's all it is. Don't be mad.
The Nerdy Brew, and shout out to you, the Nerdy Brew. If you're not following him, go follow him. He's got some amazing content. Damon messed him up in the tournament in the last season with the javelin. Okay, but here's my thing: it wasn't so much the runaway; it was the tears for fears that got me. Darth, I agree. Gwen is giving Theon Greyjoy vibes. It's giving Theon.
Wow, that's cold. That's a cold thing.
I mean, but he snitched when it was time too. Okay, that's what we need. We need somebody to clock the tea. And we need a little snitch when we need to. He's gonna do his job, and then after that, he can go. But he got one job only right now.
He's entertaining, if nothing else. I felt like the brother peeped it when she gave him that handkerchief because she did give her favor out of her bosoms, like he deserved it. Nah, I was about to say a word. I'm not giving you my favor, how you did me in this council meeting. Why would I give you anything? I ain't never asked you for nothing.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think she asked
But he
for
was
that
scared straight when he came that dragon. That's what he said. Anyone have any more comments on Gwen running for their lives in the forest? Okay. Let's see, honey, because okay. This is the one I really wanted to get to, y'all. Who the is off? Is he a liar? He claims to be the bastard brother of Daemon and uncle to Rhaenyra and Aegon, honey. Running his mouth, talking big-ish to all the boys. I'm the bastard son of Baelor. And is it Baelor the Blessed? Right? That was the king. I don't know if this is the same one because they reuse the names all the time. But he's telling all of his comrades in arms, that. And then Aegon comes in with the frat boys ready to buy the bar. And it's like, oh, my lord, your grace, my king, all of that. See? Who's off? Do you believe him?
I don't know, the way he, yapping at the gums. I'm prone not to believe him, because if that's the case, you telling the whole world, you would have been out of here, right? Like all the stuff he was saying. But at the same time, it's like you never know, because these stories are kind of like, hearsay, as is written in the book, as I've been, I'm hearing, and you never know what the real truth is. So he could be, but he isn't going about it the right way. If he is, it's like he's just in there drunk gossiping with his boys, doing too much, revealing too many secrets, if it is a secret. And you can't even tell by the hair. It's like, okay, is it gray? Is it white? Like, what is it? What's going on? So I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure if I believe him or not.
Okay, Kay, what about you? What you think?
I mean, we do know it's a lot of bastard Targaryens out there. Even in the original series, when Jon Snow ran into that one older guy who said that he was like one of the illegitimate Targaryens. So they've been sprinkled out here. I just, I think that he want to make it seem like he got a little clout, like, my people, they got dragons and they in the castle, you know what I'm saying? And like, nobody cares, because obviously they're not claiming you. So let's not tell anybody, because they don't want you. Okay. You're not coming over there. You're not invited. You can't sit with us.
Miss D-Ray.
So I think he may be telling the truth. And the only reason I say this is because he made it a point to say he was a bastard. And there is a actual Baelor the bastard maker in the Targaryen line. I don't know if that's the Baelor they talking about, but that would make a little sense, I think. Now, I ain't go back and look at the timelines and the charts the other day to verify. I didn't do that last night. But he might not be lying, because like you said, the Targaryens like to, tip around a whole lot. And it's a couple of them that didn't get the hair, because if it wasn't incest, you took out the amendment. So we're gonna see where he come from. I think he might play a role, because it just doesn't make sense for him to just be there in a tavern. And then that other girl was in the tavern too, from season 1, that old boy mistreated. So I think all these little spotlights on randoms mean something down the line.
I do too. I'm inclined to believe it, Dom. What you think about Ulf?
Oh, I think we got to remember that so it's two things. So one, yeah, sometimes being a bastard, the show is like, oh, if you're a bastard, your life might be in danger, so you would want to keep that under wraps. But we got to remember that every bastard isn't like Gendry. Gendry was like, don't say I'm a bastard. I'm not a bastard. I'm not. I just make accents. Is what I do. So, but not every bastard is like Gendry. Some people see the Ulf to me, because especially because of his age, he was like the star football player. He was the star football player in high school or in college. Like, yeah, you did all that stuff. Yeah, you ran for 3,000 yards in your football career. You did that. That was 30 years ago, my boy. It's time for you to stop talking about that. Like, that's what it was. That's what it looked like to me. Like, yeah, he was bragging on his one claim to fame and his one piece of social currency of that I'm a bastard of somebody from like 2 kings ago. So I think that, and I don't think that we would be focusing on these characters if they weren't going to play a major role down the line, like between Ulf and Hugh. Like and Ulf said something that was, I think we're gonna pick up with later, because he said these dragon seeds got to be careful, and that's the key, because we got a lot of dragons out here that doesn't have riders. So we got dragons with no riders. So we're gonna just start recruiting people who can get on these dragons, just to, because when the fighting start and these dragons start falling, who is gonna come down to who got the most dragons or who got the bigger dragons. We're gonna need people on these dragons, because I think Team Black got the most dragons, but Team Green got the big dragons. So so when they try to equalize this, they're gonna start recruiting everybody, especially when Rhaenyra's kids start tapping out, because we know they ain't gonna make it. But
Lord, the pain of it all. I'm saddened by that to think about. Child, listen.
Not the wow.
you made that cloud
As
real big.
well, and it didn't need to be. Clearly, it didn't need to be. I just didn't. I don't want no smoke. Okay. I didn't need to see all of it. After Ulf is running his mouth, Aegon enters with the frat boys, because he needs to. At first, he says, my squire, he hasn't gotten any. We're going to get him laid tonight, right? And the king is like, Aegon is like, he took a vow of chastity. And we're like, shut up, Aegon. And you got kids all over the 7 kingdoms, right? And so he ends up taking him out tonight. So they go to the bar first, but then they go to the pleasure house. And he's opening doors indiscriminately, right? Taking sheets and curtains down and seeing all kinds of redress. We saw bobbing and weaving, people talking on the microphone loudly. We saw threes and means. We saw everything, y'all. It was explicit. It's explicit. What we saw. And then we get into the final room. Aemon is there with his granny prostitute, his granny hoe. Okay. In there, curled up in the fetal position as he is, as she rocks him to sleep, and he is butt booty hole naked, right? This was the hooker that Aegon was looking for exclusively for the squire, because apparently she breaks in all the young men, right, as they go along. And when Aemon got up and bared his treasure to the world, I was flabbergasted. My mouth was on the floor. All right. And he says, y'all can have Granny Hoe. Y'all can have her. If you had one, you had them all. I can get another. And I said, Aemon, it went deeper than that. She let you suckle at her breast. She rocked you to sleep. She rubbed your back and stroked your hair. Like, is that how you treat the Granny Hoe? Miss D-Ray?
I was disturbed. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm not being funny. All the CGI in the world, and y'all had to give me that man business for real. I just don't understand.
It looked authentic. It looked real. It was
It did. You could have CGI'd that man something honorable, okay? If we had to look at it. Him laying up with the granny hoe. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen him with the granny hoe. I I need a little piece of they relate. Like I need to understand some more. Like how is this relationship flowing? Do you still smash the granny hole, or is it really only nurturing? Because you know, Egon is a butthole. He like, did you get her like the dog? You know, did you turn her from all the vulgarity in the world? Because he's just a little demon child. But I just I didn't need any of this. Because we already know that he goes here to curl up with this woman. So giving me another scene of him curling up with this woman was just unnecessary. And if y'all just really wanted him to have a good shot and pay him extra money for that shot, whatever. But computer generation works. Y'all could have hooked that man up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm.
Shmi says Aemon curled up in her lap like baby Voldemort. It gave Voldemort. He's very something about his bone structure or way the skin sits on his bones is not right. Nerdy Bruce says that's a good looking old lady. I feel him. Dom, what did you think about this scene? What how did you feel? What was going through your mind?
So what bothered me about this scene is how they played him to the left, with how because they juxtapose him with how the scene began. Because you can't show them walking into the pleasure house and then you show all the freaky stuff going on, and you show right here in the front, you show this lady talking to this right here. She killing the game, and she can't get it all in there. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you show my man lacking like that. Don't you play with David like that? And I didn't have the subtitles on when I was watching, but it sounded like to me when he got up. At first, I thought he said, one whore is different than another whore. But I think what he said was one or is no different than the other or. Like saying that it doesn't matter who is in her, it doesn't matter because it's all the same. And I'm like, if he said that, Damon, go across the room. One or is not like the other or, because across the room, this lady's having trouble. She is fighting for her life to pleasure this man. And that's what they did dirty to me. If you just show Aemon like that, and it was like, well, that's what Westerosi men all look like. They all look like Greek statues. You know what I'm saying? If that was the play, I was like, hey, he look like a Greek statue. Let my man live. But you just showed me a daddy long leg. So I felt that was disrespectful to my boy. Because Aemon is like my third favorite character in the show. And so the disrespect of his name, and he had to get up and walk with his chest poked out. He shouldn't have to do that. He is a prince of the Seven Kingdoms. He shouldn't have to do that.
Listen, he was proud. He was proud about his little.
Well, you can't let him. You can't show him the weakness now. You can't show the shame. Now he cried. Yeah, he cried a blue tear when he left. He cried a blue pearl tear when he left. But you can't show him that.
I thought, Kay.
I don't really like Aemon that much, but I had to give it to him because his brother came in there drunk, picking at him for messing with his mom that he has to go visit when he feel like he need love. And he came in there and he said, I'm just gonna strap my stuff in front of everybody, and I'm gonna hold my head up high while I do, because I was waiting for him to put some pants on this whole time. I was like, are you going to grab a robe or a towel, put some trousers on? What are we going to do? Are we going to cover ourselves? And he was like, nope, I'm just going to, like the emperor's new clothes. I'm just going to walk right on and let y'all admire what it is that I have. He was proud.
He was proud. Nerdy Bruce says maybe a grower, not a shower.
And okay. He was, he said, I'm going to rock what I have, and y'all going to get all of this. And I dare somebody to say something about it. I want y'all to say something about me and my eye. But one of y'all say something. Say something. Anybody.
They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare. See what
he held his head up high.
Yeah. See what you think about your people, friend. What's
when this was my favorite scene of the episode, the very best scene, because I love a good, equal opportunity nudity. I love when there's men being nude on screen as opposed to women. Let's make this equal here. Let's see some more peen and less vagine. I loved it. And I also love the fact that uh we didn't get the CGI. We got the practical effects. Yes, take it back to the practical props. We love to see it. I took a couple notes because again, this was my favorite scene, so I had to break it down for real. When when we see that Armand in the other episode we saw when he's being nurtured by this, granny prostitute, he's telling her, spilling out his soul, that they used to bully him. And here his brother come again to bully him in front of everyone else. This is his villain origin story. And not only that, they made him, because of his shame of being bullied, deny his true love, because he in love with that woman. I don't care what he said out his mouth. When he left one whore is just like the other. No, this is his woman. He there wrapped up in her arms, suckling her teeth, telling her, spilling his soul to her every time. No, this is his woman. And the fact that they bullying him again made him deny his woman. He about to turn on somebody. It ain't gonna be good. But yeah, shout out to the girthy men. Not everybody need to be super long out here. As long as you got a little girth, you're gonna get the job done. And I appreciate them, showing that equal opportunity on screen. Best scene of the show, right here.
Vodka says, "Ain't the size of the boat, but the motion in the ocean." That's what they say. And see, I brought this back up exclusively for you so that you could see the look of glee on Aegon's face. I'm gonna call it early prediction now. Aemon might end up being a kinslayer, because who can take this type of abuse?
Mm-hmm.
Who can take this type of abuse? So I agree. See, definitely. I mean, he already looks like the perfect villain. Aemon, it gives already. Everybody's got Master of Whisperers, right? We have White Worm, for low cost, actually. You get to be a member of the court. You know what I mean? That's kind of the price. And we have to make the high towers pay. You know what I mean? But I'll be your Master of Whispers. I'm into it. And then we get another Master of Whispers, and hopefully I had them right beside each other, and I do. And now Aegon says, "Listen, Larys," because Larys comes with a message that the people are saying, the folks are saying that Alicent is sending you to the front lines to be unalive so that she can rule in your proxy with Aemond at her side. I'm going to start with you. Whoever wants to go first, because I lost the order, y'all. But what do you guys think of these choices in terms of Masters of Whisperers? Rhaenyra choosing White Worm and Aegon choosing Larys.
Rhaenyra got the better of the two. She got the better of the two. I don't trust Larys. He getting rid of his own family. Imagine what he about to do to your family, right? So checkmate to Rhaenyra. You got me this time. You got us this time with the better whisperer, Master Whisperer. But clearly Larys has some ideas of his own. I don't really know what his end game is. I'm interested to see when it's revealed. Like, what is it? What is his purpose? What does he really want to happen here? Because it's nothing good.
Okay, next. Who wants to go? Okay. Or Miss D-Ray? Whoever.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, before this scene with Larys, I definitely thought that he was batting for Alicent, and I thought, okay, he probably the one man who her thigh out is controlling right now. And then he did this, and he put her at risk, and so now I don't understand what is happening. So I'm like C said, I'm curious to see where his end game is, because this not helping Alicent. And the whole time I thought you was kind of in the allegiance with Alicent, the way you was bringing back the tidbits and that, and then old girl with Rhaenyra, I just think she's out for blood, and I don't blame her. So she has aligned herself appropriately, because Damon done made her mad, Otto done made her mad. She on the warpath. and I think that's gonna bode well for them on the black side.
Look, Game of Thrones is showing them a pattern. It's showing a pattern now because people from Westeros with a deformity is out for themselves. Because Larys is just like Littlefinger, and so if Larys Clubfoot and Littlefinger is about the same. And people from outside of Westeros who come over here, they actually do the best for Westeros because the White Worm and Varys are on the same list. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. They want what's good overall, and then these other people, these deformed people, just out for themselves. And so trust immigrants, and that is the message of Game of Thrones. But I think that Larys he was only with Alicent because he subscribed to her OnlyFans, but she turned it off. I don't know if he's still getting them feet pics. So if he's not getting them feet pics, he ain't no loyalty. I'm gonna go over here to make my position better. And so, but I think that definitely Rhaenyra got the better end of the deal because she got actually a loyal person. Because the way her court and her generals is moving, she needs some loyal people because they moving a little shiesty. Somebody need to help because Rhaenys is doing the best she can to keep them in line, but Rhaenyra gonna need some more help, especially if she don't step up no time soon. You muted.
No, I was just saying I totally agree with that. And this was just my little side note. Aemon might take out Aegon. I mean, I don't know, something in me felt it, right? But now we are to the final scene. I think my final slide of the night, y'all. This is some bull. Do you hear me? This is what pissed me off about that episode. I really feel like, okay, because she's sitting there talking to White Worm and she says, I need to talk to Alicent face to face. So it's not just enough to answer the dadgum crow. You got the message from Alicent right back, Heffa. Why do I have to go infiltrate King's Landing to meet this person face to face? But anyway, they come up with a plan, virtually unaccompanied. The queen regent, really, I mean, by all legalities, and she's going to go on this mission to sit with Alicent. And so where does she go? That no one's there. She goes to the church house. She's there every day. Fake piety again, She comes in there, her little one accompaniment sits on the curb, right? She goes in with a blade. Alicent, I'll stick you if you say anything. Well, I could scream out, but you'd be gone before they get here. Girl, shut up. This was so stupid. And then the interaction and the exchange, y'all. If y'all liked Alicent before, at this moment in time, you should realize and understand. You shouldn't. Okay. Because they get to talking, they get to rapping. You know what I mean? And Alicent's like, listen, sis, your dad changed his mind. All right. He decided that this is not what he wanted. Aegon was the prince promised. And Rhaenyra says, huh? The prince promised? Repeat that. He said those exact words? Like they went back and forth a little bit. And Alicent says, yes. And she says, he talked to you about the Song of Ice and Fire? Alicent says, huh? Huh? Thought you read all the books, Alicent. That's what you did in your spare time when you were a little girl, right? Learning all the houses and all the histories of the Seven Kingdoms. But anyway, she says, yeah, that's the Song of an Ice and Fire. That's the prophecy. That was what was in the story. That's in the song. And she says, oh, well, no mistakes were made. Things are going to stand how they are. And that's just it, right? Dom, I'm going to start with you. I feel like you got a lot to say about this moment. Go ahead. Let us know. I mean, what was Alice? Tell me how you feel. I'm done. I'm not
this was the most Scooby-Doo part of Game of Thrones I've seen ever in life. But because I do got a lot. Because once again, Rhaenyra, because when we look at Aegon, and Aegon been wanting to get out here and get on the dragon, he want to get into it, and everybody with some sense. And even people with no sense been telling him, if you don't sit your ass down, you the king, you can't just be going out here like that. And we understand it because he's young, his son died. We understand the impulse. Rhaenyra is older. supposedly wiser, got people with sense all around her, and somehow she not only leaves the Dragonstone but goes to King's Land. How dare you go to King's Landing? It does not matter. I don't. Nothing about this makes sense. I understand from a behind the scenes standpoint how this happened, because when they was plotting out the season, they was like, we need them to have this conversation face to face. How we got there is not gonna make sense because we done wrote ourselves into a brick wall, because Rhaenyra, she sent you the letter. So I don't know why you would think responding to the letter would be weird. She the one who reached out to you. So respond. That didn't make any sense. And then we couldn't have figured out some neutral location. She couldn't have been taking a trip. Allison couldn't have been taking a trip somewhere out of King's Landing. We couldn't have been going to see, because you could have had Allison go see that son we ain't never seen, that Darren. She could have been going to visit Darren, and then Rhaenyra meet her somewhere in there. But to think that Rhaenyra went to the heart of King's Landing, dressed as a nun, went to church, and nothing happened is ridiculous. And then this conversation that happens, I know that it needed to happen because we needed the revelation to come, because we needed to really not like Allison. That was the whole point of this conversation. And so Allison no longer has plausible deniability, because the whole time she was like, well, I actually believe that, that I'm on the right path. And so we needed to take that away from her so we, the audience, could now not like her officially. And to me, it didn't even accomplish that fully, because if we're talking practically, there's no way. What is Allison going to do? We just spent an hour talking about how she ain't got no power. She putting all this mediocre cat on this man that's not doing nothing. She has no power. So if best case scenario, she left the church and was like, oh, my bad, I was wrong. The best case scenario is they lock her in her room and be like, you don't speak ever again. Like, that's the best outcome. The worst outcome is they send her away, or God forbid they kill her. Like, there's nothing Allison can do to stop this ball that's already rolling. The genie's out the bottle, and she doing her best to steer it to nonviolence. She's not even really doing a good job at that. So from the show's perspective, I don't really blame Allison for being like, it's too late, because it's too late. I'm sorry, it's too late. We got to fight now. And I don't know what Rhaenyra thought was going to happen, because we got to fight now.
And I guess that was my sentiment as well. Like, it ain't about you wanting war. War is upon you. War is at the doorstep. Daemon already got Harrenhal, because Kristen's already out there on a mission. Like, they're already rallying the troops. It's too late. But I do like that officially people did get to see the diabolicalness of one Allison Hightower. See, go on. See,
I'm trying to figure out how it's Allison who diabolical, when she was the one who was trying to extend the olive branch for peace. And it's old Rhaenyra, old stinky booty behind, going to come around with them same old fairy tales. First of all, she didn't want this war, right? She reached out to her, like I said, and here come Rhaenyra going to pull a knife on her, for one, and talking about, oh yeah, I know you sent the letter, but the only way we can have peace is if you acknowledge me as the queen. Like, ma'am, what we already know that's not going to be the thing. Your father changed his mind, and from everything that Allison knows, that's what happened. He did say throughout his life, okay, Rhaenyra's his heir, but from his own words on a deathbed that she heard, she said her son's name. And now, if you're thinking about it from Allison's perspective, here come Rhaenyra, like I said, wielding a weapon, speaking about some prophecy that don't nobody know about, because again, this wasn't something not even Valera shared with Daemon. This wasn't like some well-known prophecy that everyone in the land heard about, and this is something that's well known. It was a secret prophecy, so it's not something that she would have been made aware of. So again, this crazy woman come wielding a knife, talking about prophecy this, prophecy that. Like, what are you even talking about, Rhaenyra? Like, why would you even come with this BS in my face like this? It makes no sense. And then she doesn't want war, but at this point, it's if Rhaenyra's not willing to give up the this whole heir thing that she has, right? Oh, I'm the heir. There's not going to be a peaceful. Again, because we're looking at it through the perspective of someone who isn't aware of this prophecy, this secret prophecy. Again, that not everyone has been made aware of. This isn't a prophecy that everyone knew. Like I said, Viserys didn't even tell Daemon about it. So yeah, it's just she just out here looking like a mad woman. And you think I'm about to, like, what is it that you want me to do? You want me to stop these boys after you done took his eye? After the hand got switched up, after they already in the streets about to shuffle, and you think the war about to stop now? It's too late. Too little, too late. And yeah, it's just wild. It's just wild that Rhaenyra had the audacity to show up like that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah, like Rhaenyra came in there like Blade, like we was just swinging swords and stuff left and right.
She got a shank
cut because she was sitting over there like Creefo Dollar in the dang church, like she all high and mighty and spiritual to try to erase her sins for sleeping with Krispy Kreme all the time. Like, no, Rhaenyra is not your friend. That's the takeaway. That's not your friend anymore. Okay, from now on, it's on site. That's it. That ain't your friend no more. She don't want to listen. The prophecy ain't for her to have anyway. That ain't your friend. Let's go get this war and get on these dragons. Point.
That part, because I feel like that final shot that we see of Rhaenyra's face when her countenance completely changes, I'm like, okay, maybe this is the Rhaenyra I've been waiting for. Ms. D-Ray, thoughts?
So everybody hated this scene, I guess. For me, I just felt like, okay, Rhaenyra, we wanted you to do something. Now, this plan was very stupid. It was. But she had some balls. She had them. They had what's his name? They was
Bigger than
better than what we
Amos.
saw in Amos. Yes, she went in there like she was really finna do something, but I think she thought she was gonna play on some heartstrings because we were friends. We said at the tournament, like she needed to see it in her face and be like, "Girl, come on." And I think it was very much a desperation thing. But also, Allison, don't play stupid, girl. When she told you the story it was a tale, ma'am. Aegon the Conqueror, not your child.
Period.
Your face dropped and you said, "Oh." In your mind, she said, "Oh shit." But I feel like at least you could have went back and told your pappy because there had been discussions prior to Viserys dying where we all acknowledged that your child was unhinged and
Period.
not suitable. So I don't know why you thought on his deathbed he would change his mind about your unhinged child who ain't learned nothing in life but to rape servants and pee out of windows. Like I don't know why
Mhm.
you thought that this child was the one.
Because she
But
did.
I it could not have been helped. War was coming. She couldn't have done nothing about now. I didn't know I'd have messed up. War was coming, but you should have told your pappy. Because your pappy knew just like you know that Viserys did not say Egon at the end.
We're gonna see what she
He
do next.
admitted it.
I tell him.
He admitted it last episode. He said, you think that? You really think your daddy
Right. He
chose
knew.
you? Bruh? Your daddy never chose you, and she knew it too. Wishful thinking in her dream world and causing wars. But, that's what irresponsible women do. Anyway, let's talk about next week's episode. Do you guys have any predictions? Anyone can go. What are your thoughts for the next episode? Anything exciting? Anything you want to see? Okay.
Fire breathing dragons. That's what I need to see. Not only do I need them to breathe the fire, I need to see some burnt people up at this point. Buildings, burn some knights. I need to see some dragons flying in the air at this point. And not just one, I need to see several. I need to see the dragons dance like y'all. Me.
See?
I think we are going to, like I said, we're going to see Armand go on his villain arc. He's about to turn into Anakin Skywalker out here. I feel like what's a girl? The nursemaid, she's about to not for this world for very long. They about to take her out. Now, if not next episode, then the one after that. And what else do I predict for this next couple of episodes? I think that's off the top of my head. Oh, I do feel like what's the boy's about to come back, the uncle who may not be the uncle, the one who may or may not be a Targaryen. I don't think we're ever going to find out if he is or isn't. But I do think he may be back in some capacity, maybe next episode or episode after.
Okay, Miss D Ray.
I need action at this point. But I also need somebody to get a word from Damon because he been gone. This gonna be the second episode that don't nobody know what he doing. I need somebody to get some information because we know he on stealth mode, but I needed to surface and some things to come of it. Um, but definitely the war has started, so I don't know if I want to see the dragons yet really blowing shit down because once they start that, it's really over. I mean, look at Game of Thrones. It didn't take but the dragon to come through and it was done. So I don't know if I'm ready for them to pull out the dragons and OG some folks. However, some intimidation. I'll take in the intimidation. I ain't ready for the crispy people yet. Give me some more lead up to crispy people.
I want him. I want to see
Ride the dragon from sun up to sundown like Daenerys. Like we just need to go a quick, puffs. I mean, they destroyed everything because Drogon was all day and all night riding around. We ain't got to do all that. Just get you a couple here and there. Let's go back and forth, and then let's call it a day. But we got time.
Strategic. Dom.
I don't know. I think with I think I agree that I think they're gonna wait on the dragons because I think before the dragons start doing dragon stuff, we got to get people in different positions because right now all of Team Green except for Otto is in King's Landing, and the dragon we're not finna have a dragon fight in King's Landing because then that's the end of it. And so I think we're gonna wait for some people like we might see something where like Kristen Cole and Churchman, where they at since they out in the field, they might get into some dragonness. But I think the dragons for the most part are gonna hold out because once, like we said, like they keep saying in the show, once the dragons get into the fight, we on another level now. Now is the dance of dragons and it's about to go left. And there's really no reining that in. We can't put that genie back in the bottle. But I do think either next episode, because it's 8 episodes in the season. Jesus.
I hope it's more than 8. They only got 8.
I think it's 8.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, right now.
Next episode, because if it is 8, that means next episode is the halfway mark, which means we need a big set piece. We need a Battle of the Bastards. We need something on that level to like ramp everything up, and that's what I'm expecting. It doesn't really like this episode didn't really lead into that, like make me think that something like that is gonna happen. But I feel like if this is the halfway mark, then some need to happen.
Yeah,
the baby dragons can breathe some fire. We gotta sit the whole force. Exactly. Let the baby dragons do a little something.
If it is 8, then somebody gonna die next episode. Somebody gonna die.
Yeah, it's 8 episodes because we normally get some excitement around this part. But you guys, that's what I have for the slide. Thanks everyone for coming and chatting and doing all the things. And don't leave yet if y'all are watching because I want to give everybody the opportunity to let us know what's going on their channel. And I'm going to start with UK. Let the people know what you got going on. Oop, you're muted, sis.
Always on mute. Yes, come on over, hit that subscribe button. Of course, we're talking Interview with the Vampire. Show up for the live tomorrow. It's going down. We have some reaction videos from Interview with the Vampire. We're talking about The Boys. I just put up a review for The Watchers and Tarot. Let's see, we got some throwback videos on there, some old school horror movies, underrated horror movies. A Quiet Place is coming, that has came out. We'll probably do a review for that. What else? We got a lot of stuff going on. I need you to hit that subscribe button. You're gonna always have something to watch in the sci-fi and horror genre. Also watch Supercell. Just did a live for that. If you have not watched Supercell, please go ahead and log into Netflix and do that right now.
Right now, immediately. Dom, you're next. Let the people know.
Yo, okay, so it's Screen Static Studios, and it's a lot going down this month. Tomorrow we're doing Star Wars: The Acolyte, so tune in for that. The new Beverly Hills Cop comes out this week, so I'm gonna be reviewing that. Maxine comes out this week, gonna be reviewing that, and then next week is when I'm starting the road to Alien Romulus. So Alien Romulus comes out in August, and next Monday every week I'm gonna go through all the Alien movies leading up to the new one, and so we're gonna go back and get ourselves in the right mindset for this new Alien movie.
Awesome. Go check them out, you guys. Subscribe, please, to all of the people on this panel and show love. Hit the notification bell. See what you got going on.
Hey y'all. So over on my channel, if you're into books, I'm getting more into book reviews. The next book I'm going to be reading and discussing is You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. It's a thriller mystery. So if that's your bag, join me on my channel, See the Superior. Also on my sister channel, Popular Review Entertainment, we're going to be discussing the rest of my Adventures with Superman and some more interesting stuff on there. Join me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, See the Superior, Instagram, See the Superior. And thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here, Ms. D-Ray. Last but not least, what you got going on?
Well, since I am the other half of Horn Hooch, all of the things that Kay said, but I am going to add in, I am the in-house mixologist, so looking forward to a little bit more cocktails drinking on the show. We did say we were also going to look into Maxine, so that's coming up for us. Um, and also like, subscribe, and hit us in our Facebook group. We love our Facebook group. We love our Facebook followers, and that's probably the most personable place to get with us outside of these lives. So we look forward to
Yay.
being back.
Thank y'all so much for being here. And y'all already know, if you're watching on my side, that I do everything. But today I just dropped my recap of Supercell. Of course, we did the live. Tomorrow night is cosplay, y'all, for Interview with a Vampire, the finale, the end of an era. Okay, until next season. So please join us for that. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about a movie, Young, Wild, Free. So come and join us for that live as well. And I will have my review, my recap review up for that later tonight or in the morning, plus everything else, honey. Like I said, just hit the notification bell. But we appreciate you guys so much for being here. We appreciate the love, honey, the PayPals, all of the things. I see you. I value you. Thank you so much. And yeah, until we meet again, have a great night and be safe. Thanks for watching.
Hey.